Punching it, starting the intro.
But I think the development of full artificial intelligence will spell the end of the human race.
It's a flying object and we don't know what it is. I would hope somebody is checking it out.
With the rockets or whatever, but incredibly fast, opposite direction. They were too fast to be an airplane.
I'm glad the Pentagon is looking at this, because if it poses a threat, I want them on top of it.
Well, the craft generates its own gravitational field.
You said there's lights in the sky?
The internet has become the command center for criminals and terrorists.
911, what's your emergency? I need help, please help me!
Aliens won't let it happen. You know, that's what we're instructed to say.
Roswell, Area 51. Alien kept deep under the ground.
1 0 1 1 1 0 1 1 6 3 2 9 7.
Doesn't have your best interest in mind. The government is self-serving. You're here for a reason. You're listening to Troubled Minds Radio. Broadcasting live from a secret bunker just off the extraterrestrial highway. Somewhere in the desert sands outside of Las Vegas. From somewhere in space-time, loosely labeled Generation X on planet Earth. And asking questions of you in earnest into the digital darkness.
Good evening. What's up, you party people? How are you guys doing? Welcome to Troubled Minds Radio. You're listening to Bonus Time, featuring Frank Pierce. If you guys are used to listening to the show, this is a little bit different. We're going to do this a little bit different. We're going to talk about some crazy stuff. And if you guys got some crazy stuff to talk about, we'd love to hear it too. And remind me to talk about Frank's Illuminati, because that's important. We need to get to that. And thanks for showing up. We got a couple shout outs. We got Fred, we got Yamo, we got Graham. Thanks for being here, guys. We're not going to do a proper show. We're going to do an improper show, because, you know, if you don't do a improper show once in a while, then you can't really ever do a proper show. You know what I'm saying? You bring it down, then easy to bring it back up. So so this one's a little different, guys. We're if you're used to watching on Tuesdays, we do a kind of an impromptu fun stream. Let's say we talk about news exclusively, and then whatever you guys want to talk about. So if you want to call in, be part of the show, you know what? You know the deal here is 702-957-1037, or you can hop on Discord and just tell Frank and Mike we're a bunch of morons, or otherwise. So we'd love to hear all of it. So et cetera, so on and so forth. Thank you guys for showing up. Couple more shout outs. We got Glenn, we got Jose. Thanks for being here, guys. We got Kelly. Thanks, Kelly. Thanks everybody for being here. And it's we're gonna go for some party type atmosphere tonight. What's up, Isaac? How you doing? Thanks for showing up, man. But before we do that, before we get to that point, there's always a critical part of the show. If we don't do this, I don't know, the universe might implode. But this part's important, and my favorite part of the whole damn show. You guys know what's up. You guys that listen, you know exactly what's coming right now. Ladies and gentlemen, your co-host, Frank Pierce.
I think it's your favorite part. because you enjoy putting me on the spot and forcing me to come up with a ridiculous introduction. I'm Frank Pierce, and this is the news show, so we're going to have fun. We're just going to chat about a couple of topics that caught our eye this week and delve into them. Look between the cracks. I found a few that really work in that vein, where the regular journalism just doesn't seem to be doing the job. Yeah, so that's all we're doing. So if you want a real show where we dive deep into a topic, that'll be Thursday, Sunday. But for Tuesdays, we're just having fun here. So let's get into it.
All right. I'm already having fun. You're not having fun? I was already into it, man. Come on, loosen up.
Yeah, that intro, the pre-intro was fun for you, I could tell.
Yes, fun. We're having fun here. Oh, we got a big comment already. Graham says, the star people, we the people of Simta Lorks within the half sun. This is our family house group in the Gitzan Nation. Oregon story is in the beginning. We are saved and giving to the chief in the sun. And okay, I don't know what I'm reading. So, Graham, you're amazing. Hop on Discord and tell us what that's all about, because yeah, I'm confused. But anyway, nice comment. Yeah, so you guys know what to do. If you want to be on the show, 702-957-1037. It's right there on the top of all the streams. I'll put it on the stream itself for a little bit, in case you guys want to hop in and say what's up, say hello, give us some feedback on the show if you've listened to this show or previous shows. So again, so we're taking our time here. We're not gonna try and rush this. We wanna make sure if you guys have something to say, if you guys got topics you want to talk about, we've got time to get into that. So no rush. If you want to call, give us a call. If you want to get on Discord, please get on Discord, and yeah, we'll do some of that stuff. But we do have some stories to talk about. But yeah, let's buy some more time there, Frank. Let's say something interesting.
All the stories, we've made sure to follow the principle of detecting fake news. So there's no Kardashians on the sidebar of any of these stories. That way we know that these publishers are telling the truth. They're telling us there's no fake news. That's the new test that we discovered a couple of weeks ago. And it seems to be working pretty well so far.
So far, so good? So far, so good? If we're out of line and we pull up a news story and you guys see a Kardashian on the right side, we failed, okay? So I want you guys to be on the ball here and keep your eyes out for them pesky Kardashians, because they always show up just when you least expect, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so all right, and then Kelly says, get with the intro, Frank. See? They detect it, man. They know. They know. Okay. All right. So here we go. All right. I think we wasted enough time. But yeah. So if you guys want to talk about whatever, we're open to take whatever topics you got. So Graham, if that you got that sweet thing you pasted there, if you or wrote, maybe you wrote it, maybe you made it up. That's fantastic. So if you want to talk about it, you know where to find us. So we will definitely talk about that if that's what you want to talk about. So in the meantime, until you guys come up with a topic that's suitable. We've got some topics we've kind of pre-selected, let's say. So, where do you want to start, Frank?
Let's jump into a fun one here, and this really twinges my cynical nerves. Astronauts will play first ever tennis match in space tonight. Watch it live. So that's the headline. Pop it up. Basically, there's a tennis tournament going on, and one of the astronauts up in the space station, apparently he loves tennis. He loves it so much. So I read this, and I'm like, okay, they're going to, somehow repartition the space station. They're going to be, firing tennis balls back and forth in zero gravity. Wow, that's something I want to see. And so, I booked a part of my time. It said you can watch this gravity-defying match. Gravity-defying. You can watch this match live online from 8:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Eastern. And so I tuned in, I watched, I sat there, I looked at it, and it was just some guy talking, right? Just blah, 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 blah. Right? They didn't actually shoot any tennis balls back and forth in zero gravity. And it was a complete letdown, much like NASA is a complete letdown. So, Now, I got to thinking about this, and yeah, it does seem pretty irresponsible. Of course, they're not going to fire tennis balls back and forth in zero gravity. Of course not. So, again, this is just another example of NASA kind of like propping up some controversy or some excitement over nothing, right? And there is an archive of the stream on that page, and you can click through it if you want. But basically, they don't even do anything. They just kind of chat back and forth. I really thought we might see something. We saw that other story where the astronaut kind of not going to go firing satellites into space, manually launching them, and we saw one where, he knocked the camera off the space station by accident. I thought we were going to see some fireworks, some tennis balls flying back and forth, but we didn't get to see anything.
Some actual tennis. You're looking forward to a tennis match?
Because I'd pay for that for sure. Imagine a space station of some kind, like a big cube. And it's up there. Maybe they make it at a moon rock, which we'll get to in another story tonight. But, a big cube that's hollow in the center. And you got like two guys on each side of this cube, or maybe a rectangle. And that's what they do, is they just fly through zero gravity. And they play tennis, and they're shooting balls back and forth, jumping off the walls and doing flips in the air. That would be the best thing I've ever seen. But, no. So no. I'd pay money for that if anyone's listening.
Well, there you go. There you go. If anybody's super good at CGI, you got a buyer. You got a buyer right here.
No CGI. Put the damn thing in space. Hire the athletes to go up there. I'd definitely watch that.
Okay.
And they could subsidize this space program through selling tickets.
Okay. You want it to be real. Got it. Pay-per-view, Wimbledon in space. Got it.
Zero gravity UFC? Come on.
Now that would be better.
Pay for that too.
That would be better. Yeah, so again, here we go. Space.com talking about, of all things, astronauts playing tennis in space. How does that make you guys feel?
Yeah, another point I had about this too is I'm not giving you my tax money to play tennis in space. I'm giving you my tax money to do work. You should be out there getting stuff done, not for around with tennis balls and stuff like that. Of course they didn't. They just used it as a kind of a propaganda stream to say how great NASA was and all this kind of stuff.
Of course.
Yeah, do something. What are you doing?
Get to work.
The cost to... Think about it this way. The cost to bring a tennis ball from the ground to orbit through a rocket is something like 1,000 times the price of the tennis ball due to the weight, the rocket fuel and all that. So that's like probably a $2,000 tennis ball that someone's paid for, that we've paid for with our tax dollars. And I don't know about that. I don't know how I feel about that.
I know how I feel. I feel like shouting out to Willie. Says hi from Kissimmee, Florida. What's happening, Willie? Thanks for showing up. And Todd, one of our OGs. What's up, Todd? Thanks for showing up. Yeah, so tennis in space. It is. It's much like the space rock that we talked about the last show, where NASA said, "Hey, we figured out what this anomalous object on Mars is." It looked like a random rock. I feel like this is the same sort of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like we're kind of in that spot where we're not even taking this serious anymore. We're just like, we're gonna do some tennis in space, and we're gonna tell you that the rock on Mars, yeah, that's a rock. We figured it out, guys. The picture of the rock,
super mysterious object.
Exactly.
It's baffling the experts. Who knows what it could be? Oh, exactly. It's just a piece of rock. Okay, go away.
Yeah, exactly. Like we found the rock. We've identified it's an actual anomalous rock that confused us because it didn't quite look like a rock or something, but it did. It totally looked like a rock. I don't know. Anyway, I feel like it's the same thing. Like it's exactly in the same vein here. They're wasting our time. They're trolling us. They're making us click this. They're making us talk about this. I feel used. You know what I'm saying? I feel a little bit used here. Frank, I blame you. This is your article. Come on, man.
It was a fun one. Something fun to start because I thought they would actually do it. I thought they'd be firing tennis balls back and forth and breaking shit, and maybe we'd see some asteroids tonight as the space station falls from orbit, but we didn't get to see it.
Yeah, of course not. Going back up here, I didn't mean to ignore you, Graham. He says, just sharing ancient family history of our origin. That
Call
thing that I
in.
was trying
Tell
to
us
read.
about it.
Yeah, there
It
you go.
sounded pretty interesting from the brief bit that I heard about it.
There you go. He says, not made up at all. So, yeah, give us a call, 702-957-1037, or jump on Discord. Tell us what you're talking about, because it's, you know, as you can imagine, a little bit out of context for the rest of us. So, but we're interested, for sure. So, yeah, give us a call. Tell us what's up.
Yeah, we've done shows on entirely stranger stuff than that. Believe you me, we've covered some diverse topics. So
absolutely,
that's nothing. And we'll take you seriously. We'll be polite. We'll ask questions and try to figure out what you mean and how it fits into everything else. Because that's how you learn, is just asking questions. That's what this show is.
Exactly. And then talking about things you haven't heard about, and we haven't heard about that. So there you go. Yeah, give us a call. And then a couple more comments here. Isaac says, we should definitely have some space topics, talking about NASA and all. Oh, we got some space stuff. Don't worry. Space is our forte. That's what we do. You see the little alien up in the corner there? The alien on the screen. Hold on. Let me switch the alien on the screen. That's we're all about the aliens. We're all about space. We're all about NASA and the stuff they tell us, and then change their mind and tell us something different. That's what we're all about. We got that stuff coming. Don't worry. More tonight, even. And then Willie says, yeah, like showing us what's on the dark side of the moon, like we don't know. Well, I mean, we'd like to know. we have lights. We have the technology to go there. So why haven't we? I don't know. It's a good question. But yeah, definitely. Isaac says, yeah, definitely. Definitely. I agree. And he says, get out of here, Isaac. He says, first time here, and I love these guys already. I think he's talking about the rest of the guys in the chat there. He can't be talking about us, Frank. No effing
Definitely
way.
can't be talking about you.
No. Okay. All right, anyway. So we're moving on. Okay, we got some space stuff to talk about. So thank you for the compliment, Isaac. And here's some more space stuff. So, all right, so tennis in space. We're over it. Unless you guys aren't. If you want to talk about tennis in space, let us know. I'm over it. I'm definitely over it. Todd says, I got... Okay, I'm glad. Thank you. Thank you. You're the best, Frank. Todd says, I got kicked offline. Are we being redacted? Are we being censored? What's happening here? They put us in the Alex Jones bucket already? That was fast. That was incredibly fast. Well, welcome back, Todd. Sorry you got kicked. It wasn't intentional, and it wasn't me. So, there you go. All right. Fred's over it. Fred's over it, too.
Maybe that's a good time to bring up what you just told me, that they're removing some of these tags, because that flabbergasted me.
Okay, check this out. So when you set up a live stream on Facebook, okay, and it works like their ad system. So you type in like in the tags or whatever, and it will auto suggest, whatever. So if you type Willy Wonka, it'll put Willy Wonka the movie, it'll put the old one, the new one, whatever. Well, what happened recently? It wasn't this show. It was a few back now. I used to be able to actually type conspiracy theory as one of the tags for the show, but that's no longer available through Facebook here. So you can't even. So I used to use paranormal, conspiracy theory, and then I'd put some keywords in there that were relevant to the topic we were talking about. If it was pyramids or whatever, I'd put Giza and the Sphinx and stuff like that. But you can't even put conspiracy theory anymore. Like it's like Facebook has completely redacted it as a let's say interest, as a targetable interest. So yeah, to me, it's like they've completely flipped it on its head, and they're saying that no, you're not allowed to have your own conspiracy theories, right? So. Because if they allow us a community where we talk about conspiracies, then it's our own, right? It's our own thoughts. It's our own ideas. And guess what? It's the forbidden fruit, right? We're not allowed that. So you can't use it anymore. So you can't type conspiracy theory. Try it. If you guys any of you guys stream on Facebook, I know Kelly does. If you guys when you set up a stream, try and type into the interest there, conspiracy theory, and see what happens. It won't auto suggest, and if you type it in and just hit enter, nothing happens. It won't. It used to be there. It is now gone. So, F you, Facebook.
And
here we are. Yeah, go ahead.
You can
Frank.
see how that would be quite powerful, right? Because you could disavow someone like Bernie Sanders, right? You want to stream one of his rallies, you show up and you're excited to go. I don't know why you would be, but if you were, they disallow that tag for streaming, and they kind of censor him that way. They do all this kind of stuff. So they can really shut down discussion by preventing you and preventing people from finding you doing this kind of thing. So it is quite frightening. And there are further implications for this as they get bolder and bolder and bolder in what they're willing to do. So I wouldn't put them past it. So this conspiracy theory and Alex Jones stuff was just a test, and they're going to make it even worse as time goes on. Right.
And yeah. So as you guys are aware, we're kind of on the hot take, the whatever you call it, on the tip of censorship. We love free speech, even if we're wrong. We believe that we should be able to say it and talk about it, and you guys should be able to answer and talk about it with us. And yeah, it's vanishing before our very eyes. So yeah, be careful. And with that, actually, I've got a good point before we move on to the next story. If you guys want uncensored Troubled Minds Radio, we've got a profile on minds.com, which is completely 100% uncensored. So, which that means is I can put my own nudes up there. All right? And
Whoa.
Frank's can put his up too. We're not gonna. But you see, it's that uncensored. So, if you want to, we can do it. But we're not gonna. Well,
No, we're not going to.
Okay, we're not going
We'll put a few memes up. We're trying the meme magic.
Some meme magic. All right.
I haven't really fallen interest in this. Let me go on a rant about this since we're just killing time. I think that memes have been shown to be quite powerful, right, over this past couple of years. And so, yeah, I think that's part of the reason why they're banning these topics and they're kind of censoring them, is because people look at a meme and they derive so much meaning from it, whereas they might not read an entire news story. So it is pretty important, and I think that's what they're really trying to shut down, is this free expression of information through these alternate means they couldn't even control before. Anyway, that's my thought. And
don't even understand. So actually, with that, this leads us right into the next story. How do you like this headline? Trust. Okay, this is reported by ponderwall.com, and it's a magazine of science and culture. And here's the headline: Trust in digital technology will be the internet's next frontier. Did you catch that? Did you guys see what that means? So now that they've completely gone Big Brother on almost every aspect of our lives, they realize that they've gone overboard. They realize that we rightfully have strapped on our tinfoil hats. And that's the next frontier, is to earn our trust back. Like, what? It makes sense to me. And this is from Tufts University. I can't pronounce the guy's name, but it's right there on the screen that wrote it here. But what do you think about that, Frank? Before I read some of this, I'm going to read a little bit. But what do you think? How does that make you feel?
So if they want to regain my trust, what they're going to have to do is remove censorship, tell the truth, and be impartial. So as you read through this article, I'm sure that's what they're going to do in the future, right? They're going to do all these things. They're going to actually give us the news instead of trying to cram an agenda down our throat. But looking at this article, I'm seeing some different strategies. I'm seeing the opposite of that.
Well, here we go. Let me read some of this. After decades of unbridled enthusiasm, bordering on addiction, you guys are addicted, don't you know, about all things digital, the public may be losing trust in technology. Oh, look how smart these guys are. They're like, hey, how about we spy people's webcams, we dox them, we ruin people's lives through technology, and then And then we finally realized that the public may be losing trust. Yeah, genius.
Let me jump in there real quick. So when you're reading an article and the very first line is a lie, that says a lot about the rest of it. Because no one's lost trust in the internet as a medium. They've lost trust in the publishers that are putting information on that medium, right? So there's a very fine nuance there. I don't not trust that I can go and get news on the internet. I trust that the people I go to get the news from will be spinning me or lying me or telling me a story, pushing me down a false narrative. So I haven't lost the trust in technology. I've lost the trust in their use of the technology, right? So even the very first line there, I have a big problem with that.
Yeah, of course. And then, so the next line, online information isn't reliable, whether it appears in the form of news, search results, or user reviews. And we've all seen those phony Amazon reviews, right? It's anything but legit. So social media, in particular, is vulnerable to manipulation, I like this, by hackers or foreign powers, right?
Russia.
You can't say that, man. You're going to get us flagged. You're going to get us taken down. Okay. But yeah, so if anybody's been paying attention, then Russia's all up in our social media, and every rainbow-colored Bernie Sanders meme apparently changes everybody's mind about their own personal worldview. So I'm sure you guys have seen this stuff. But anyway, so I thought it was interesting, this article. So I thought maybe we'd talk about this a little bit. If you guys, how does this make you feel? Do you trust technology, or is it literally that the trust has been broken to this point, and you guys actually think that the trust needs to be earned back? Is that a thing? So if that's a thing, then the next question is, like Frank was saying, what would it take for the internet and for, let's say, Facebook or Google, YouTube, Twitter? What would it take for those guys, for you guys, to trust them back, to start to rebuild that trust where they kicked dirt in your face for years now, and spun every article and politicized every single thing and didn't report important news and on and on? What would it take? If you want to chime in, interesting conversation. If not, we can move on. No problem. 702-957-1037. Click on the Discord link and get in and talk about it. This may be one of those ones that's just lol, morons, move on. But I think it is pretty interesting that somebody somewhere is actually realizing this, and they're of course coming up with some kind of a dirty, underhanded strategy to fool you into trusting them again, right? I mean, I'm not going to read this whole thing because that's a lot of words, and but you get the gist, right? Just like Frank said, after you read the first line, and it seems like it's a flat out lie. The rest of the article probably bodes that way. But yeah, how do you guys feel? Do you trust Twitter? Do you trust Facebook? YouTube? Google? Actually, interestingly, I was just listening to Clyde Lewis, one of my favorites, a radio guy. If you guys haven't heard of him, he does Ground Zero Radio. One of my personal inspirations for doing this show, actually. He's very good. He was supposed to have Alex Jones on tonight. Did you see that, Frank? He was actually supposed to be on with Clyde Lewis tonight.
No, I would have tuned in. I love Alex Jones. Super male vitality. I'm kidding.
There you go. There you go. Okay, but oddly, so just before we fired up the stream here, it turns out that Alex Jones, for whatever reason, isn't going to be on the show. So he like ducked out at the last second. Was he kidnapped? I don't know. The host of the radio show didn't know himself, so he had it all planned. He even stated that he was nervous that he was going to have, the mighty InfoWars host on his little radio show, But he was he all nervous, and no show, no explanation, and no reschedule as of yet. So maybe something happened. What do you think? Got a conspiracy hat going on? What's happening here?
I think the globalists got to him clearly, and
They got him?
They probably took away his guns at the same time, right?
I hope they put his shirt back on too.
Yeah, like love or hate that guy, he is so entertaining that it's unbelievable. Like, and you can watch him, and I don't know anyone who seriously tunes into InfoWars for like serious, down to earth news. But he puts on a show, and every now and then you'll get a tidbit when you go to Google and look for it. It'll turn out to be true. So it's a good show, and I hate how they've scrubbed him from the internet, because that's what they've done. They've scrubbed him completely from all these major platforms, and it's terrible. And yeah, I just don't get it. I don't get it.
He's got the wrong message. He's being redacted from the internet. Fred says Google knows everything. Can't trust the internet. Yeah, exactly. They know everything. So with that said, let's go real quick. If you guys want a browser that doesn't track you, again, they're not paying me to say this. I'm trying real hard to get them to pay me to say this, but they're not actually paying me to say this. But the Epic browser, it doesn't track you. So even if we talked about this before, I think the first time we did this impromptu bonus time stream, we talked about this particular browser, and it blocks everything. It blocks all the trackers. If you go to Google, it uses its own proxy, etc., etc. So yeah, there we go. Quick plug. Not getting paid to say it. They're great anyway. The Epic browser, if you guys don't know. So yeah. So anyway, so we're gonna move on from this story. This story's a little bit slow and boring. And Fred says he's afraid of the internet.
No.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Let me jump in there and read a line from the story. So, especially in less trustworthy regions, users will need governments to enact strong digital policies to protect people from fake news and fraudulent scams, as well as regulatory oversight to protect consumers' data privacy and human rights. Give me a break. They're begging the government to get involved.
It's like keywords.
This is a hit piece. This is propaganda. Like, someone paid this guy to write this article. Anyway, we can move on from it, but this kind of stuff is why I don't trust it. This article made me trust the whole thing less,
right?
Which was the opposite of the intention of it.
Right. Well, I mean, they tried to put a bunch of fancy words and a bunch of, some of that double think and tell you what you should think. So, yeah, no, thanks. We don't want your trust. If you want to be, look, it's an easy equation, guys. If you ask me, if you want to earn people's trust, then how about not tracking them when they're not wanting it to be, like having every single tracking an opt-in or an opt-out. Complete transparency. How about that? How about that, Facebook? How about that, Google? I mean, it's not that hard. It's just not that hard. How about not censoring Alex Jones? Whether you like the guy or not, again, Frank likes him, I don't. It doesn't matter. The guy needs to be able to speak. If he's going to get sued by the Sandy Hook people, no problem. Let the lawsuit happen, okay? Let it be it. But that's holding people accountable for the words, okay? But let the man speak. That's how I see it. And transparency. Like, did you know that Facebook actually tracks your mouse cursor? Did you know that?
No way.
Yes.
No way.
Did you know that Facebook tracks every tab you have open? Yes, they do. Did you know that Facebook, if you have their app on your phone, they track your location just like Google Maps might? And again, find me the opt-outs for any of those things on Facebook. Yeah, that's right. You can't. Because they won't let you. They won't let you.
Throw your phone in the garbage, and that's the only thing you can do. Really.
There you go. There you go. And again, that's how you earn our trust back, in my opinion. You don't write some shitty article from some shitty college by some shitty guy who's trying to tell us, oh, look at these fancy words and we're going to earn your trust back. No, hell no. Get out of here. Be transparent. Let us decide on what information you use. And then maybe we'll start over. No.
Have you seen this is how out of touch they are, this example. Have you seen that video where Mark Zuckerberg Zuckerberg is in his backyard, and he's like, "Hey guys, I'm barbecuing some brisket here. Have you seen that one?"
No, that's funny though.
So he looks like a complete alien, right? He's dressed up like a normal person would dress, except he gets it kind of wrong, right? Because he's not a normal person. And he's like staring at the camera with this huge alien-looking eyes, and he's like, "I'm barbecuing some brisket here."
Shut
It's
up.
the funniest thing. Like he's trying to gain trust. Maybe I'll find it for you and we can pull it up if we talk for a second after this.
Please, all right.
But
yeah,
he's trying to regain the trust by appearing as a normal person, but he's not. He's not doing it right. Like, we don't care about you making brisket in your backyard with your fake expensive clothing, right? Or your expensive clothing that's made to look cheap, right?
Right, or whatever.
See right through it.
They're like, quick, man.
Anyway, let me pull that up real quick.
Okay, they're like, quick, Mark, go to Costco, buy some random stuff that kind of almost fits you weird, put it on. We got the barbecue and the tri-tip. Ready. Action. Yeah, so what do you guys think? So Todd says, I did. I think that means you saw the commercial. All right, so we're going to replay it here. All right, I'm going to bump on to the next one, so we're going to just do Mark Zuckerberg real
it's
quick.
in the thing there for you.
Thank you. Oh, here we go. Are you kidding me? Brisket and ribs. This is amazing. This is
and
how...
those damn green egg things he's got in the back are super expensive too, right? It's not cheap stuff he's got in the back, that hardware.
It's like $600. And it is from Costco. That's really funny. Okay, hold on. Let's see. Make sure we're up in the right thing here. Okay. Yeah. Okay, we're up. Here we go. All right, Zuck. 2 minutes. You got it. Go.
Hey, everyone. We are live from my backyard where I am smoking a brisket and some ribs. I'm making meats now. Smoking these meats here. Our little meat smoking.
Smoking those meats.
So,
wait. Did he just turn toward a baby? Like he was gonna smoke the baby? Like he was confused what the meat was?
I don't know.
He's like, hey, so they've put me outside for the first time in 6 years. There's smoke in my eyes, and I don't know what's going on, but I'm supposed to read this script. Oh, there's the meat. Oh, wait, that's my baby. Jesus. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, someone asked me, do I smoke meat? Smoking meat. Smoking these meats. Smoking meats earlier in the day. Smoking these meats, just set the charcoal up, and you set the wood chips up, and then smoking meats, grilling meats, good smoky flavor. Smoke a brisket for like 12 hours. You smoke lemon chicken, smoke salmon, you'll love it. Bison sirloin, ribs and sausage, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's a clipped up version I found. You get the idea.
I'm the big guy, and some pork ribs on the green egg.
Okay. Wasn't this a thing with Zuckerberg where he went through one of those full how do I say this and be politically correct? I'm not going to say it. How about, didn't he go through a phase where he was only going to eat meat that he killed himself with his own two hands? Remember reading that?
I believe so. I believe that was correct. Yeah,
that was the thing. I
don't know
right?
if he stuck to it or not.
So now what happened? So now he just like went out and slaughtered a bunch of cows and a bunch pigs.
Yeah, that was a village worth of animals.
He bought like the Costco green egg to go along with it. Yes. And Kelly says, yeah, I've seen that video. He's a hybrid if I've ever seen one. Yeah, right? I swear to you, this is the only time this guy's been outside in 6 years. I swear to you. Like that, he's got some kind of underground tunnel from his house to the Facebook headquarters, and they film him there, and that's where he gives his talks. But I'm telling you, look how uncomfortable he looks, just sitting there. He's outside, the barbecue's going. Like, they might have like a fake beer next to him, like the propaganda. Like, yeah, man, I'm a regular guy, people. Check out how much you can trust me. Though, I'm tracking your mouse cursor, I'm tracking all your open tabs, I'm tracking your location data, I'm tracking everything that you guys cannot opt out of. Well, because I'm Mark effing Zuckerberg. Zuckerberger? Is it a thing? It is now, because he's barbecuing.
It is now.
Yeah. It is now.
No, and there's, the whole thing where he was caught saying, I can't believe all these, I'm going to paraphrase this, I can't believe all these dumb people trust me with their data. Like, he said something along those lines. Like, the whole thing, and it's not just him, it would have been MySpace if MySpace kept going. It's definitely Twitter. YouTube for sure, Google, of course. It's all these companies, they're out of touch with the reality. Like, they want to gain our trust. Well, tell the truth, be honest, and give us some transparency. That's the key word I keep coming back to more and more, is transparency into these inner workings. Like, why are you tracking my mouse cursor? Tell me why.
Exactly. Like, how is that pertinent to the information that I already give you? You know when I got my last damn haircut. You know what I had for dinner last night. But you want to know where my cursor is? That's not in Facebook? It's not on your website? It's my computer, bro. Come on. Okay. Ram shows up. So what's up, Ram? Thanks for showing up. He says, what are we talking about, yo? Hey, this is what we're talking about, yo. We're talking about Mark Zuckerberg. Doesn't he look like an alien? Check that out. He's a hybrid. Kelly says he's a hybrid. I agree. And look, okay, so he's outside in his backyard, apparently, which there's no chance in hell his backyard is that small, because that looks like my backyard. There's no effing way, right? Or they like,
yeah, wait a minute. You thought that he was outside for the first time, but it seems to me that's just a stage inside this big warehouse.
Yeah,
and it's actually a fake backyard.
Exactly. No, so we're talking about how the internet. We just read an article partially about how we don't trust technology as people. Well, so we're showing you how the technology titans, Mr. Zuckerberger here, because he's barbecuing, how he's gonna earn our trust back. He's a regular guy. He's just out back. They're barbecuing. That's his backyard.
Smoking the meat.
Smoking the meat. Right? And a little egg on the left side there that he got from Costco. And I know they sell it at Costco. I've seen it there. Like $600. But I'm telling you, we trust him now, right? It's just like Obama going to the fish fry in like Ohio, whatever county, you know, like, hey man, he's a regular guy. We trust him now. It's like the same type of PR BS. Anyway, I'll finish playing this, but that's what we're talking about. And then Efren, what's up? Thanks for showing up, guys. Ram says he's a lizard person, though. I don't know about that. I mean, we're making fun, but look at him. Look at the guy. Anyway, and then Fred says that's what I was thinking. I'm not exactly sure which part. We'll follow up on that. Here we go. Another minute of this video. He's smoking the meat. Mark Zuckerberg, right here, trying to earn our trust back. Okay. All right. Action.
Meat like a brisket. I got ribs in there. Finishing off the brisket and the ribs. And I'm just sitting in our backyard, finishing off this brisket and these ribs. But hopefully for Canadian Thanksgiving, you get to eat a lot of brisket and ribs. How many of you guys are eating brisket and ribs tonight? Brisket and ribs. They taste doubly better when you hunted the animal yourself. So what are you guys making for dinner? Brisket and ribs, I hope. Delicious. Brisket and ribs. The ribs and the brisket need to be eaten. I want to try your brisket. I want to try my brisket. It's a pretty tough cut of meat. The ribs and the brisket. Are you excited to have a rib tonight? I want my baby back ribs. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce. That is going on the ribs.
Holy shit.
Sweet Baby Ray's.
Okay, I can't.
I am a normal human being.
I'm sorry.
I am not an alien.
I'm sorry. I have to shut it off. Okay. So then Danny, thanks for showing up, Danny. What's up? Says,
smoking my ribs in the backyard.
I'm a human being.
Back brisket.
Baby, like I've never seen the commercial. Somebody told me to read the line. Baby back rib. Yeah, jackass. Danny, what's up? Danny says definitely reptilian with the Windows reboot. I think it's funny. And yeah, no, right? I mean, come on, really, Zuck? That's what you got. Like, you're gonna fool us. We think you're a regular guy now because of the brisket and smoking the brisket. What a dumb commercial. Unbelievable. But anyway, yeah, there's a reason why we don't trust these assholes because, well, anyway, I'm gonna cursing up a storm here. I'm gonna stop. Okay, so anyway, next article. Unless you got something to talk about, Zuckerberger. There.
Yeah, I was just gonna say he's done that before. There was one time he went on like this Facebook artificial tour of the earthquake in Haiti, I believe, and he's like, you know, his cartoon avatar's popping up and. He's got this cartoon avatar chick friend with him. And they're driving around these war-torn villages and everything's falling apart. And he's like, hey, look at that. That looks nice. Like he's going on safari for the,
yeah, right.
the people so far beneath him. I don't know. Yeah, so you know what? I don't need you to look like a regular person. I don't care if you look like an alien. Just give us some transparency. Tell us, why are you tracking the mouse cursor? Tell us, why are you banning these people? Tell us why that conspiracy theory tag was removed. That's all we need, just transparency. I don't care if you're an alien. I don't care if you smoke brisket, 12 hours a day. Just tell us why. Tell us these things.
Yeah. No, exactly. And so Ram says, meep, more, zarp, I am a normal human. That's exactly it. That's how wooden this guy is. He's trying to tell you he's a regular human being. No. And we're not buying it, right? Who buys that? Literally, who buys that? How many times did he say we're smoking the meat? It was like 100 times, right? And like, they edited the clip, of course, but he got a couple weirdos sitting behind him. He's just like, hey, look at us, we're normal guys. Get out of here, whatever. Okay, but hold on. So, and then Fred Daly, great comment, says he's smoking something. I think that's literally true. Okay, but what I wanted to say was, how about the Street Crate guys? We're streaming on that guy's platform, talking crap about him. How about that? Is that digital stones or what? Or we expect like the police to show up any second? Okay, anyway, I'm over it. Who else is over it?
Yeah, enough of that story for now. Let's move on.
Okay,
let's get back into the space. Let's get back where we feel safe with the space and the aliens and the rockets and the satellites.
Okay, what do you got?
Okay, here's a good one. This is not a fun one, but a very one. So, moon bricks. Got that one pulled up? Let me scroll. There we go. The moon bricks made from lunar dust that could build mankind's first home on another planet. So the surface of the moon is covered with this gray fine dust. We did a show basically where we broke down this whole thing previously. You can actually make concrete out of the dust on the moon, believe it or not. Material, this moon dust in this article is saying it can be compacted into a shape and then heated using a furnace to bake it. And these things have the equivalent strength to gypsum. So again, more and more we're seeing this space technology, space news. All this is popping off real quick. So the next space race is here, but it's not between countries. It's not between Russia and the States. It's between corporations. So this kind of stuff is coming up fast and furious, but this is a pretty good example. We've been talking about building a base on the moon for quite some time. It's the next step. And here, they've actually made advances towards this. So obviously they can't bring a huge amount of stuff back from the moon, if they even did, but they've basically come up with artificial synthetic representations of what the moon's structure looks like, right? So what are they called here? They're moon synthetic analogs, basically. So they basically mimic this lunar soil, and then they sell it, and then someone here on Earth can say, hey, this is a representation of what's on the moon, and they can do tests on it. So these guys here, they made bricks out of it pretty easily by the sounds of this article. So I thought this was pretty interesting. They can build domes with it, launch pads, roads, solid blocks, habitats, this kind of stuff, with some pretty cheap looking technology. And they're using 3D printing as well.
Yeah, so way back to episode 2, the very first real episode we did, where we talked about some real stuff, Frank pulled up some information where he said that basically the moon is made out of that Quick-Treat you would buy at Home Depot or Lowe's or any hardware store, and that you just add water and you could build this stuff. So here we go. This is it, right? This is what we're talking about? Now it shows up on the Daily Mail. Is that correct?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so they're using this here. It's called the Lunar Dust Substitute, made in Europe, EAC1. And they sell it so you can buy some and you can test all these things. So pretty exciting stuff that they're making bricks finally. And I think we'll get into another story today where they definitely confirm, 100% confirm this time, that there is water, frozen water on the poles of the moon. So you put this together with that, boom, moon base.
Moon base, there you go. I'm gonna have to call you out there. So this is the dailymail.co.uk. So if you scroll down.
Oh shit. I saw a picture. Kim Kardashian.
On the right
fake
side.
News.
There it is.
Kim Kardashian and Kanye West have one embryo left. And it's a boy. Well, I better click on that.
Okay, so we have to discount this entire article. Sorry, guys. We didn't mean to bring this up. Nothing to see here. If you want to hear about Quikrete in the Moon, episode 2. We already talked about this months ago. But anyway, Kim Kardashian just caught up. Okay, so yeah, fail, Frank. Fail, buddy. Yeah, you didn't pass the Kim Kardashian test. You couldn't help yourself. Okay, so another one. I saw this one. I thought this was pretty interesting. The one more time, guys. This is a free-for-all show. So if you guys want to talk about whatever, we're talking about whatever. So 702-957-1037. You can call in, be on the show. Click on Discord. Hop in there. Come tell Mike and Frank what's up. Give us the what bo and the 411 or whatever it is you got to tell us. Whatever your zip code is, we'll take it. We'll take it. But yeah, so if it's free for all, we're just kind of going through some stuff that we found and talking about it and kind of just spitballing, shooting the shit. So if you guys want to be part of that, we'd love it. The comments are great. Call in. That's great. And yeah, that's why we're here. That's what we're doing. So all right. So got you. Kim Kardashian. Fail, Frank. Fail, buddy. Okay. So I found another one here. Another article. I thought this was pretty interesting. Headline: Female mice are immune to cognitive damage from space radiation. And this is reported by medicalexpress.com. And so they did, as they do, they'll subject mice to radiation. And similar to what you would get in space. I don't think they actually put mice in space. Because, again, the weight to rocket ratio is just way too much. But so they basically irradiated these mice, and then they did tests on them to see if they would actually be brain damaged. I guess is that the best way to put it there, Frank? Did it brain damage them? And
yeah, definitely. I'm just reading quick here. So yeah, they are actually looking at inflammation of these microglia, which are kind of neuron endings. Yeah, so real brain damage.
Yeah, and so apparently the male mice end up kind of lost. They stop socializing. They are scared of open spaces. Other crazy things. They say significant cognitive decline and brain structure changes. Okay, and it's a simulated cosmic radiation. And apparently the female mice do not. So, interesting or fake news? What do you think, Frank? Is this a...
I happen to know a thing or two about this, and it's basically that, of course, female mice, just like men, no, sorry, let me restart that. Female mice, just like female humans, have 2 of the same chromosome. And male mice, just like male humans, have 2 of the different chromosomes, right?
Right.
So what they're going on here, and I don't think they've mentioned it, but I have seen some of this kind of stuff before, is that female mice essentially have a backup, right? So if radiation damages the chromosome responsible for building these structures in the brain, well, female mice have this backup in place, whereas male mice, of course, they don't. So yeah, it makes sense, but it's been known for quite some time that this kind of thing goes on, that females are more adaptable to radiation because of that backup system they have in place. And I was just paging through this article, and I think this says it all right here, is the paper's original title was, I am a woman, watch me soar. I'm a woman, watch me soar. That was the title of this paper, this white paper. So, it wasn't some big scientific title like the effect of lunar radiation on female mice and their damaging to their microglia. No, it was kind of a social justice style title. So there's a reason for that. They did this on purpose. And I don't want to rain on your parade, but I don't think this is a big deal.
Okay. So that makes me wonder who wrote this. So I'm going to go to the top. It says August 20th, 2018 by Nicoletta Lanise. Oh. Okay. Oh, it gets better. From the University of California, San Francisco.
San Francisco, there you go.
UCSF. Okay. Okay, anyway. All right. Nothing to see here. All right. Moving right along.
No, it's definitely good to know because, yeah, this means that Like, we've known this for quite some time. I don't know if they've done it in the context of space before, so that might be new, but they've definitely done this style of study in the context of radiation from nuclear power plants or atomic bombs and this sort of thing. So it definitely is good news for female astronauts, traveling to Mars or traveling to the moon. But what can you do? We poor men are out of luck, I guess.
Out of luck. You are a woman. Hear you roar. Okay. So a couple comments. Kelly says, "Oh, the moon is something entirely different." Yeah, we. If you haven't seen it, Kelly, go back and watch the moon episode. I think we were on point on that one. Maybe our audio was not so, but I think we'll
have to redo that one time because that was a terrible audio one, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty good information though. And then Todd says they should irradiate themselves. I agree, 100%. I'd like to see how they ended up. Apparently, Nicoletta Lanise from UCSF would end up just fine. So maybe you should contact her in the name of science and see if she would like to be irradiated.
Maybe they should irradiate San Francisco in general because of all the things going on there. Isn't there like a big poop epidemic? There's tons of poop on the streets everywhere and all this kind of stuff.
So I spent a lot of time in the Bay Area growing up there, and when you would come out of the BART tunnel, which is the from the basically underground train system, you would come up out of BART in onto the streets of San Francisco, and the first thing you would smell was urine. It was just like, bam, slap you in the face. Human urine. You can tell the difference. It was definitely human urine. And then, shortly thereafter, like about, 9 nanoseconds, then the feces smell hit you. It was, yeah. And that was a long time ago. And I don't think it's changed. It still smells like piss and shit in San Francisco. Okay, anyway. All right.
Moving
on. Okay, what else you got? So female mice, immune, yawn, whatever.
Okay, this is from space.com, released on August 21st. Water ice confirmed on the surface of the moon for the first time. And there's a couple of good photos here if you want to zoom in on them. But basically, we've kind of known for a while that there is water on the moon in the form of ice. There was like an asteroid impact a while back that hit the surface of the moon, and then it sprayed up a bunch of dust and crap, and there was water in it. So they could actually analyze the spectra of the light going through this dust that was released, and they found water in it. But they didn't know for sure. Now they do. So they say with enough ice sitting at the surface within the top few millimeters, water would possibly be accessible as a resource for future expeditions to explore and even stay on the moon, and potentially easier to access than the water detected beneath the moon's surface. So a couple of millimeters below that dusty surface, we have water. Now that kind of brings up a whole new set of questions. Is why isn't this stuff evaporating, right? Why isn't it kind of wicking off into space, right? There's no atmosphere to protect it. The gravity's so low that it can't hold those gas molecules down. So kind of confusing in that regard. But this is good news, right? Because all you need is, again, I think we've said this 1,000 times now, get a solar panel, get some electricity going through it, stick the ends in some water there, and what do you get? You get hydrogen, you get oxygen, boom, rocket fuel, right? So it's as easy as that, and it's free. So we could put a bunch of people up on the moon, give them some shovels, make them start digging up this ice and produce rocket fuel, turn that into concrete, make a place for them to live, and pretty soon, keep going down that route. There's a bunch of, iron and silicon and titanium in the moon's surface as well. Start harvesting that, start building these rockets. This is what we need. This is the data we need to proceed. And I think that the space race kind of thing we're seeing now is part of this, is that they finally realize the resources are there, and now it's a race to get there.
But didn't we know this weeks ago in our moon episode? I'm confused. Okay, is this one of those? I'm
confused too.
One of those Mandela effect type things where, like, every 6 months they tell us, "Oh, good news! There's water on the moon," and we're supposed to forget that they reported it 6 months ago. I don't understand. It's like,
I don't quite get it either, but this time they say it's 100% confirmed, and it's beneath the surface, so like a couple of millimeters beneath the surface. So you're right. I think I've seen this story like 10 times in the last year or two, at least, and then probably 50 times in the last 10 years. But this time, 100% confirmed. So it's there for real until they tell us it isn't, like 3-4 days from now.
Or just forget that they reported this and then report it again 6 months from now. Whoa, good news, guys. Everybody check it out. There's water on the moon. Yeah, it's party time. Party time, people. Yeah, so hey, Kick It Show. We're just kind of hanging out, talking about some articles we pulled up, talking about space. We're talking about all kinds of different things. So you guys know this show's about asking questions. So if you guys got some questions you want to pose, you want us to talk about, you want to get together collectively and discuss something entirely different, no problem. That's what we're about right tonight. So give us a call, 702-957-1037. Put you right on the show. Click the Discord link right there on Facebook. We'll put you right on the show, and we can talk about whatever. If you guys got an article you'd rather talk about, drop it in the chat. We'll pull it up, and we'll read it real quick, and we'll talk about it. So again, we're flexible tonight. We're not trying to stick to an agenda or go through a bunch of information we pulled up other than just some casual stuff. So if you guys have some interesting stuff that you heard that we might have missed, we want to hear it. So one more time, 702-957-1037, and let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So in other news, there's water on the moon. Who knew? Who knew? Apparently we did 6 months ago in our episode 2.
I'm actually starting to think like maybe this is something that like they need to teach this kind of stuff in schools, right? They need to inspire the younger generation. Like maybe science labs should get some of this lunar dust substitute, material in, and challenge the students when they're at a very young age to say, hey, what if we melt this? What if we, add some acid to this? What happens to it? Like get them inspired at an early age because we have everything we need. It's all there. So we just got to start making use of it somehow. Get up there and do it. That's it.
Get up there and get it done. Absolutely. Kelly says the ion engine would be better for space, and you're probably right. There's a lot of things that would be better for space that we haven't touched, as a society, as a nice governmental complex. We just don't do the stuff that makes the most sense, and that it drives me nuts. We haven't had a moment like this yet, so I'm gonna walk away from a live mic. So this is on you, Frank. I'll be right back. Like 60 seconds. Whatever your tell me what your show is, and or your article, and I'll pop it up, and you can start, and I'll come right back.
Okay, here's a fun one. Put up, woman wants to marry a ghost, and I'll talk about that. You'll miss it, but I'll talk about it.
Really? I don't have that one.
Yeah. Oh, you don't have that one?
Hold
okay,
on.
never mind.
Wait, hold on. No, I don't think so. Oh, there it is. My bad. Okay. You're good. Killing a live mic. I'll be right back.
Okay, so yeah, I'm on my own here, so let's go crazy. This woman wants to marry a ghost. So apparently the story goes, what this has to do with space and the show in general, I don't know. We did do an episode on ghosts. I thought it was pretty good. Go check that out if you haven't already. But this woman, she went to Australia for a trip. She's originally from Britain. So she goes down to Australia, and she is walking through the woods, experiencing the nature and all this sort of thing. And she feels this presence, and it kind of sticks with her. So then she flies back to Britain, and of course, I guess the TSA wasn't able to stop the ghost from getting on the plane because it followed her back to Britain, and she fell in love with it. So she says here, when I was out in Australia taking a walk in the bush, this spirit approached me. It's something you can feel rather than see, like a presence. I fell in love with it. It's the one. So she returns to the UK, and now she's hoping to connect with the ghost more intimately. I'm not sure how that's going to happen. Now, apparently she's...
I'm back.
Oh, you're back, are you? So she's looking into phantom pregnancies and believing that if you have a phantom inside of you, it's better than having a physical baby. Okay, so she's going to marry this ghost. And this is we talked about the Roman Empire in the very first episode. That's a fascinating subject. It's one of my favorites, the Roman Empire. And associated with the decline of the Roman Empire was a loss of, as they described it, a loss of morality. Things started getting loose. People marrying dogs, people, bringing horses into their houses, shamanistic rituals. Again, I'm not criticizing you if you're into that, but that's what the scholars in the Roman Empire associated with the decline of the whole thing, is this kind of loss of morality and this looseness in society, where people didn't have a mission anymore. Go ahead.
I got some Rain Man stuff. I didn't look this up, but didn't Caligula make his horse a consul?
Yeah, he did. Something like that.
Okay.
Anyway, so people don't have a goal in life. They don't have a mission in life. They don't have something they're striving towards with every single effort, every single fiber of their being, whether that's farming a field to feed their family or fighting off barbarians or who knows what. They lose that drive, that sense of, we have to do this or we're all going to die. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think this is it. This is it right here. This woman has nothing better to do than marry a ghost. So there you go. I think it's happening all over again. History repeats itself. These are the signs. This is my opinion. Only my opinion.
Okay. Thank goodness it's only your opinion. I want to see what this chick has to say. Let's play this video for a sec.
There is a video there. She's quite attractive, too. Like, not a bad-looking woman.
Apparently. Well, never mind. There we go. Let's see what she has to say. Let's skip through some of this.
But, none of us expect to hear this story. Did you expect this story to happen in your life, doing what you do as a spiritual guidance counsellor?
No, not at all. No.
Mm-hmm.
No.
So tell me, when you and he talk, what do you talk about?
It's really difficult to explain in terms of
because
first-hand relationships. It's a bit deeper than that. We don't have a need for conversation. It's more just like about emotion and feeling and connection.
But you may be feeling and connecting.
Oh, come on. The look on her face, this chick is so full of crap. She's like, and visit my website, we're selling pictures, expecting a ghost baby, selling t-shirts. Get out of here. Get out of here.
I hope that's the case. I hope this is some kind of scam to sell healing crystals on her website, and this is all a publicity stunt. And I really hope that, that she's not just doing this because she has nothing else in her life, that she's choosing to marry this ghost because, she doesn't have a real family to worry about, or she doesn't have, a goal in her job that she's looking for, or, a passion for painting a picture or writing a book or something like that. I hope that it's a fake thing and not a real thing. I really do.
It's marketing. I'm nearly certain. You know what? When I find these articles, guys, not that we don't believe in ghosts. It's just that anyway, we just don't want to marry them, have babies with them. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that she's selling something somewhere along the line, because I'm looking for a link here to her website, and there isn't one, so that's odd. But when I find these articles, and this is a good find there, Frank. I didn't see this one. Like I dig pretty deep sometimes, but you dug deeper. When I look at these articles, sometimes the best things are the comments, right? Like you just skip the article and go straight to comments. That's like some of the things these people say. It's fantastic. Fred says it's a scam. Yeah. Oh, thanks, Fred. I think we agree. We concur. And then Kelly says, "Ghost baby? Maybe it's the second coming of this Jesus guy." Lol. Funny you say that. I'm going to scroll up to the top, and not to offend anybody here, because we don't really like to do that. But it says this second comment says, "And yet millions of people believe it really did happen 2,000 years ago for some unknown reason." There you go. So I wasn't going to read that, but you made the comment, so there you go. Somebody's thinking along the same lines there. But yeah, I want to see when the ghost baby's born. Like, can you keep an eye on this, Frank? And then when the ghost baby's born, we'll follow up on this story.
I'll keep track of the Amethyst. What's her name? Amethyst Realm. I'll keep track of her. I'll follow up on the story. Don't you worry.
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure we don't miss it. I just want to make sure. Okay, all right. Okay. Are we over this one? You guys want to talk about this one? If you want to talk about this one, 702-957-1037. Hop on Discord. Tell us what you think. Kenneth says publicity stunt. Go ahead, Frank. Sorry about that.
Yeah, you just made a good point there, and that's we're talking about news organizations and the internet being less trustworthy. And a lot of the times you have to go to the comment section on a news article to get some kind of semblance of reality because, people call them out on their bullshit. And that's something I've seen happening, is they're removing comment sections from a lot of these big newspapers, these big online distribution platforms. They're taking away the comments. And so you can't go down there and get a reality check, right? They want you to believe what's on the screen, and they don't want someone in the comments kind of pointing at the common sense of what's really going on.
That's pretty deep. It's like it's like an entire, what do you call that? Is that a simile? Is that to like a real life here and what's actually going on with the mainstream media and the press and all the things that they want to tell you, and they don't want any kind of diversion. Like their story is their story, and that's reality, and that's it. The simile? I think that sounds right. Anyway, I failed English, so okay, whatever. All right, what else we got here? If you guys want to be part of the show, 702-957-1037. Click on Discord. We'll put you on the show. You can get on with Mike and Frank here and chop it up. We'll talk about some stuff. Kenneth, what's up? Thanks for showing up. He said publicity stunt. I already read that. I didn't say hi to Kenneth, though. What up, Kenneth? What's the frequency, buddy? All right, so what are we doing? Where are we going? What do you got next? I got one, I think. Let's see. What do I got here?
Yeah, we can go into that.
All right, let's see what we got. Let me find one. We did the female mice. We did the water on the moon. Oh, this one is gold. All right, here we go. Okay, so I found this one, and this is reported by...
Trigger warning. If this is the one I think it is, trigger warning. Right, it might be. Because I'm about to say some things that won't be nice and will probably offend you.
Okay, perfect. Speaking of will offend you, speaking of Frank will offend you. So if you guys, so these shows, they do not get archived publicly. Okay, so this is kind of like off the record type of thing. But if you want access to these shows, it's really easy. We're going to have a page where we have all of these linked up and archived, and you can go back and listen to all the great, terrible things Frank says, all the claims he makes for posterity. But the way you do it is you have to join his Illuminati, Frank's Illuminati. And how do we do that, Frank? Do you remember how to do that? We discussed this.
I think we can just go to troubledminds.org and go up on the right-hand side there and join the mailing list. And, I think I'm... Like, when I talk about an Illuminati, I'm semi-serious. I really am. I think that we should encourage rational thought and, stop trying to marry ghosts, really. Stop trying to do that. Like, think rationally about things, take things with a broad perspective, and ask important questions. And so we're going to have a mailing list, and maybe we'll write up a few articles here and there and just talk about some of the things we're interested in. So if you want to join that, and we're calling it My Illuminati, but it really isn't. It's a mailing list. Go and do that.
Yes. So if you want to see these shows archived and be part of the inside action, we'll have other insider stuff. Just join the mailing list. Completely free. Go to troubledminds.org. Top right, punch in your email, hit submit. When we get this page up with all the bonus time stuff and some other good stuff, we'll send you an email and you'll have access. So there we go. Frank's Illuminati. Anyway, so trigger warning. Frank's about to say some wacky stuff. But here's okay. So this is reported by Reason.com, and the title is it racist to refer to space colonization?" I'm gonna let that hang for a second as we wrap our minds around what that's actually trying to say here. This is written by somebody named Jesse Singal, August 16th, 2018, on Reason.com.
Which is a misnomer, because this is not reasonable in any way.
No.
Keep going.
No, not at all. Not at all. Okay. So here we go. Let's read the first part here. There's a time and a place. Many times and many places, in fact, when it is good to highlight the certain utterances are likely to offend, which Frank's about to do. Don't you guys worry. Once, my parents were on a trip and met someone who casually used the term Jewed down. That's a quote. Don't quote me, that's from the article. And far too many people still use the term gyp, not realizing it is a negative stereotype fueling reference to a group that faces horrific discrimination and violence. And there's a link there. I'm not going to click the link. It's probably graphic. Okay. There's a reason it will be... Okay, never mind. I'm stop reading. I think I'm getting dumber. Okay, go ahead, Frank. Hot take. Action.
This story is so stupid that I don't even know what to say. There's so many levels of this that it's so stupid. Okay, let's start with the first one. I honestly believe, and this is terrifying, I honestly believe that if aliens showed up, that some people out there would be so worried about hurting their feelings that they wouldn't fight back should the aliens want to, take over the planet or drop bombs on us. They'd be like, well, we have to worry about the feelings of the aliens. I really do think there would be people like that out there. So that's the first problem. Second problem is taking that a bit further. I think if, let's say, we heat up the climate so much we can't survive on the planet, we get in a colony ship, we're jetting off into the space, we're finding these planets to colonize, and we find this last planet on the very last drops of our fuel. We pull up to this planet, and it's got some kind of weird bug creature on it. I'm kind of worried that some people on that ship would be like, okay, well, we can't settle here because of this bug creature, so we might as well just, kill ourselves, right? I'm kind of feeling that. I think there would be people out there who would actually think that way, and that's terrifying to think about. It's very terrifying.
Yeah, I think like we've come so far. We've come so far. I'm gonna quote that song. We've come so far to give up who we are. If you know the song, let me know what the song is. The song reference. Kenneth says, "Racist to who?" Yeah, exactly.
So there's two ways I think I interpret that: racist to the aliens and racist to the people in the past who were colonized on Earth. So using the term as racist because a colonization term. And not only that, we could be racist to the aliens by colonizing their planets and whatnot. Now, another point I want to bring up here is, I don't know if you saw this because it was heavily censored. It was heavily censored across the internet, but there was this whole big thing about South Africa reclaiming farms, taking farms from white farmers.
I did.
And, the government's taking them away. So, and this was especially prevalent on Reddit, which I lurk on from time to time, is there was a news thread about it. People were writing their legitimate comments, like, this is horrible, this is terrible. And then they blocked it. They banned the people who were posting about it, they shut the thread down. It was really obvious censorship. And I think we're getting this idea is that you can't criticize other groups anymore for doing horrible things. And this is it. Like, people are so worried about this term colonization because apparently the white men colonized the New World and they colonized Africa, and that's a horrible term. But meanwhile, you've got them, kicking white farmers off their land, doing horrible things, and don't worry about that. There's no issue there. It's perfectly fine. When it's just as bad. So this whole social politic malarkey, it's just disgusting, and especially disgusting to see it applied to this noble exploration of space and getting out there, and this kind of thing bothers me a lot.
I guess that means Captain Kirk and Jean-Luc Picard, all those guys, like, they're instantly racist just because they were colonizing space. What was the thing?
Call me a nerd or whatever, but I think the morality and the lessons of Jean-Luc Picard on the Next Generation show, like, that was like the perfect example in my mind of logical, reasonable thought, good morality, good sense of what's going on. And this is just, it's a 180. It's the, again, decline of the Roman Empire here. That's what we're seeing right now.
Yeah. One more time, the reference. We've come too far to give up who we are. I'm going to have to play that song. Come on, somebody call it out. You know what the song is. Okay, but yeah, so again, here we go. Like, literally every single angle of every single thing, we have to find a way to dub it racist. We have to find a way to... I don't even know what to say. I'm mad. I'm triggered.
This is
almost
like, this is being like a traitor to your own species. right? And you think, oh, that would never happen if aliens showed up. You know, we would fight them off as one. But look at like vegetarians, no, or vegans. I'm going to trigger you here, so just plug your ears if you're a vegetarian or a vegan. But they're worried so much about, you know, animal cruelty, and they're worried about the well-being of animals and all this kind of stuff, right? But they don't give a shit about people starving. They don't give a shit about their fellow mankind starving. So it's almost like these people are a traitor to their own species, just in that they're worried more about the feelings of a honeybee than you know, some guy starving or homeless in downtown Detroit. There's real problems here, and I think this is just going to extend further and further the more we go. I don't know what to do about it. Like, I really don't know where this has all come from, and I'm kind of worried that humanity as a species won't be able to solve problems together because of all this divisiveness and because of all this non-rational thinking.
Yeah, it's about, I mean, like cutting out on the chase of this, it's about political power, right? So if you can malign particular groups in large swaths, it's power. You know, it ends up people being scared to be called racists or what have you, you know, and it's intentional. It's completely intentional. And so again, you know, like you turn on CNN and there's you know, they're talking about like the KKK rally or white nationalists or whatever they are, whatever they're trying to call them, right? And they may not even be, you know, there might be 5 of them there, but there's, you know, 600 people there. And so because there's a few there, they're all white nationalists, right? And all the while, you know, across the world over, in so many countries, we're like we're butchering people, you know, not us specifically, but there, you know, there's governments out there, they're butchering people, and we're not talking about that. We're like what on God's green earth? Why are we not talking about that? Like, why are we not talking about that thing in South Africa where they're running farmers off of their land and killing them, they're murdering them to take their land, and not just that, it goes on and on and on. The countries they get away with it. It's a, you know, Venezuela. It's
a distraction, I think, because you know, people are too focused on Kim Kardashian. Sorry to interrupt. They're too focused on Kim Kardashian to worry about what's happening in South Africa, right? And they're too focused on other things. They don't have the historical perspective to realize that like, bad stuff's going on, and you live in the best time of your life right now. But they don't realize that because they're worried about, you know, what kind of pretty shirt they're going to wear, what kind of, I don't know. Here, let me read a quick thing from this. Even when people aren't explicitly referring to settlements in space as colonies, they still use the rhetoric of colonizing the New World and the American frontier, which erases the stories of violence against the people of color who lived and ranched in the region. So they're saying that, oh, you know, the big bad white man came over and killed everyone. Well, pardon me if I'm wrong, but pretty sure the natives, they fought back too. Like, we had a war, essentially, and they lost, right? Am I wrong about that? Like, no. It wasn't all one-sided. They weren't peaceful, loving creatures. There's a reason the scalping thing is so, you know, they did bad stuff too. But we just got to get over it. We have to get over it.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, Todd has a good comment. He says, how do you think this country was taken from the natives? Same thing. And it's true. You know, it's spin. You know, when it's convenient, it's cool. You butcher these people. And when it's not, you know, like you hold them up on a pedestal from Standing Rock and say, we're not building this pipeline because it's not right. It's wrong. We're standing up to oppression. We're standing up to big corporations. We're standing up. I mean, yeah. I mean, the back and forth is just it's again, it's spin. It's fake news. It's fake news. It's the shiny object. It's this shiny object. They're trying to tell you that this is what you should be worried about, right? Like, all the while we've got Elon Musk, we've got the Space Force, we've got water on Mars, we've got water on the moon, we've got so many exciting things. We've got the internet where you can actually find information. You don't have to go down to a library anymore. You just, you know, sit down with your beer in your hand and go to reason.com and find out about, you know, John Luke and Captain Kirk were racist. because they wanted to colonize space. You know what I mean? It's like it's I don't know, what is it? I don't know where I'm headed. Todd says
this
exactly.
it's a very difficult topic to rationalize. Like, I just hope that, should we want to go colonize a planet, or should we want to, fight off some aliens, that we can all, no matter our color or religion, we can all kind of we can maybe set aside the past, learn from our mistakes, and all work together without worrying about things that happened 500 years ago or 200 years ago, right? And this is kind of the same thing as cutting off your nose to spite your face, right? Because there's an agenda behind this.
Yeah, and to be complete, let's not completely fair, because we don't want to be completely fair, because they don't fight a fair fight on the other side. But I do want to point out that in this article it says, but that doesn't mean, okay, quote, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't be on the lookout for language over policing. Okay, as well, especially given that we're living in a time of numerous, often conflicting claims of what is and isn't offensive. Okay, so at least they put that notion in there that this is obviously ridiculous. They're like, come on, really, people? I mean, we can literally spin every single thing you see as racist, but this, do we need to say that, like, the first Martians we find, whether they're microbial or whatnot, it becomes a race thing now? I don't know. Anyway, okay, moving on. You got more trigger warning stuff for this, or should we move to the next one?
No. But I just want to follow up in that the main point of this is that we shouldn't colonize space because of some of these past horrors that people have done. We shouldn't do it ever again because of this. What's the future of that? There's no future of that. And because there's no future of that, it's the wrong answer by default.
Yeah, well, I mean, but it certainly swings political clout, so there's that. Todd says, yeah, but if we work together to invade another planet, it's the exact same thing as invading a country here, because we think we deserve it because we are superior. And Kelly agrees, very true. And it's exactly right. But I mean,
like, maybe I'm a terrible person, but I'd be perfectly fine with that, Like,
well, me too.
Nuke the aliens.
Me too. I agree. I mean, the thing is, though, so if we stay here, and it is like the science guy, what's that, Bill Nye, the science guy, who's a complete effing moron, for the record, you can quote me on that this guy says the Earth is a closed system. There's no way out. And so this is part of his global warming shtick, of course, the fear-mongering bit. If that's actually true, then okay. But I mean, I don't know. there's heavenly bodies close that we've been to that we can get back to. There's water there. There's Quikrete. There's I don't know. Unbelievable. It just the amount of propaganda that just swirls about is it's mind-boggling. It makes you. I think this is the point. I think maybe I'm getting to myself anyway. It makes you doubt your own sanity. It makes you wonder if the actual, possibly pure thought that you might have had as you were walking alone in the park, just kind of thinking about random things, it makes you wonder if that thought you came up with on your own might be crazy, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, even if you have a pure thought, it's like they're coming for it. It's not allowed. Even you, inside the peace and serenity of your own brain, you're not allowed. You know what I'm saying? It seems...
Yeah, I don't know about all that hippy-dippy bullshit.
It's just not fair. No, I'm just saying, like what if you had a... Hold on. Let me clarify, because it's not hippy-dippy. Hold on. If you have a moment of clarity, and you're like, okay, the world kind of makes sense for a second, but then the next 24-hour news cycle completely throws it off skew. That's what I'm saying. Like, I kind of embellished a little bit.
Yeah, they are doing that. I agree with you. They are doing that.
Okay, so I embellished. I made it hippy-dippy, but that's what I'm saying. So it's like if you come to a conclusion that makes perfect sense, you're not allowed to keep it because they want to spin it They want to spit in your face. They want to take it away from you. And they want to tell you things like this. They want to say going to Mars is somehow racist. I don't know. Anyway, okay. No more hippy-dippy. Got a couple more comments, but go ahead. Go ahead first, Frank. I cut you off. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like, again, and I'll be mean to my co-host, but anyone who calls in and participates, we'll try to be polite to you. But Mike and I, we don't like each other.
That's a fact, Jack. All right, so, okay, couple comments.
Whoa, I see Kim Kardashian off to the side. Okay.
No, not in the reason. I'm scrolling down. There's no proof. No Kim Kardashian. Nice try.
No, the flash, as I said, that we hate each other. I saw a flash of Kim Kardashian to the side, so what does that mean?
Fake news. Fake news. All right, Todd says, isn't that what everyone worries about if aliens were to invade us? Think about it. And you're right. You're totally right. Not the racism thing, but all the rest of those things, yes. And they could invade us, says Kelly, and all they have to do is just send in asteroids. Yeah, and we've talked about that. And we've also talked about that scary satellite that the Russians have that seems to be oddly shaped, like it might carry a rock they could just dump on in New York City or whatever anytime they want, right? Then we talk about that, Frank? Speaking of dropping rocks on people? Okay. Yeah. So,
anyway,
okay.
Final point on this story is that all this, past history and all this stuff aside, like, I think humans are animals. Lions are animals. Tigers are animals. We're all animals, and we don't get along. Like, we just don't get along, right? And I don't think aliens are going to get along with us either. So that Arecibo message that they beamed out that gave us all our details and locations away, that was like a traitorous event to the species, honestly. Like, that's just telling your enemies where to find you. And, like, as much as we want to be peaceful and happy and we all want to be friends with each other. Like, lions and tigers are not friends with each other. Like, they're just not. And they never will be. Right? And I think that aliens and humans, we're probably not going to be friends with each other. So this kind of stuff is, I don't know, there's a big problem with it.
Yes. What Frank just said. I agree. So, guys.
But again, maybe I'm a terrible person. Keep going.
You are a terrible person. We all agree. Everybody, like, well, holy moly, these comments are just flowing. Everybody says, yes, Frank is a terrible person. Wow. Holy moly, they just keep coming. I'm just kidding. Okay, if you guys want to be part of the show, 702-957-1037. Got about 30 minutes left before we cut this off, but we're talking about free-for-all topics. We're talking about all kinds of stuff. We got some more articles to get to, but if you guys got a particular topic you want to talk about, ancient, new, modern, otherwise, hippy-dippy, we'll take it, and we'll be nice to you. Don't listen to Frank. He's not nice to me, but it's a weird relationship. Don't ask. But yeah, so give us a call, 702-957-1037. Hop on Discord. We'll talk about whatever you want to talk about, and we will take it as seriously as you want to take it. So yeah, that's Frank's line. I stole that. Okay, so and then Todd says another comment. It's a mindset that's the problem. Yeah, I mean, I think not only that, it's that like I said, they won't allow us to have our own mindset, right? Like if most of the people on Earth think that we shouldn't be murdering each other, we're not allowed to have that thought, right? Because the Russians, the Chinese, the this, the that, the Americans, they're warmongers, yada 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 yada. We're not allowed to keep a peaceful thought in our head because it's right? It's taboo. It's not. It's against the narrative. It doesn't fit. And so there you go. Yeah, I agree with Todd, 100%. And then Kelly says that's because we are taught not to get along. It's always about division, and that's exactly right. That's exactly what we were just saying, and that sums it up perfectly. It's we're not allowed to have peaceful thoughts in our head about our neighbors, about our friends, about our family. We're just not allowed. It's not part of the narrative. So yeah. Anyway, okay, so we're moving on. Is it racist to refer to space colonization? We're gonna say no, and then move right on. Moving right along. Well, okay, what do you got there, Frank?
Yeah, let's go to this. Here's another interesting piece of what I think is propaganda. So the Business Insider article. Fewer people are reporting UFO sightings, and experts suggest it's because reports are being intercepted by the government. Ooh. So okay, this one's like, if you want to go to this, some of these articles, here's a trick for anyone who doesn't know. When you load up one of these websites and they say, you can't look at this because you're running ad blocker. Well, if you just open it in an incognito window, you can get through that. So there you go. There's the trick of the day. Anyway, scroll down to this graph. So the meat of this story is there's this organization, National UFO Reporting Center. And if you see the graph here on the screen, basically they have the incidence of UFO reports over time. So in the 90s, it looks like they were getting 315 in 1990. And it basically just increases and increases and increases until 2014, where it peaks at 8,670 per year. And since then, in 2018, it's dropped back down to 1,329. And so, this story, there's so many issues with this story. So, first of all, the title. They're being intercepted by the government. Okay, that's just like, that's trying to make everyone seem crazy right off the bat. Of course, these UFO reports are not being intercepted by the government. I mean, maybe they could be, but I kind of doubt it. Now, they also explain some other reasoning why these reports have dropped off. Maybe because people know what drones look like. So they're saying, oh, now that people are familiar with drones, they're used to seeing lights in the sky, and that could be the reason. They're also saying that they peak due to the end of the Mayan calendar, and maybe crazy people aren't being crazy anymore, or something like that. But basically, they give a bunch of these weird reasons, like fighter jets can sometimes look strange in the sky. Now that we're more familiar with fighter jets, well, we don't report these things anymore. Right? However, there's a very simple explanation to this story. And I did a little groundwork here to figure it out, to figure out why these reports have been decreasing so precipitously in the last couple of years. And it's very simple, is that all these stats on this graph, if you have that up, are from this one UFO center, right? So maybe people just aren't going to the UFO center anymore. Maybe they're going to YouTube to report their alien sightings. Maybe they're emailing troubledmindsradio@gmail.com to report their alien sightings. You know, maybe they're going on Facebook and Twitter to report their alien sightings. Maybe they've just stopped going to this one place. And lo and behold, you pull up the Alexa website traffic for this new fork, so this reporting center, and the traffic to this website where you report these settings parallels exactly this graph that you see in front of you. So the more popular this website, the more aware of it people are, the more they're going to report their settings to it. The less popular the website, the less aware of it people are, and they're going to put their sightings on YouTube or Facebook or wherever else, and not this place in general. So it seems like I did that in 5 minutes. That was a very simple explanation for what's going on here. But it seems like they're trying to spin this, and they're saying, oh, it's because they're being intercepted by the government. You know, they're trying to make it look as dumb as possible. But in reality, I think if anything, UFO sightings have continued to increase. We're seeing them on Facebook. There's Facebook channels and YouTube channels and Twitter. It's all over the place, all the time, everywhere. And this is just bad news reporting. And worse than that, I think it's bad news reporting for a reason. Seem ridiculous.
Well, it's interesting. Okay, so this is the Business Insider UK. Okay, so here we go with this UK stuff again. I don't know what's going on over there, but every time I go to a UK site, there's Kim Kardashian on the right side, and props, Frank. There's no Kim Kardashian on the right side on this site. Though, I'll be completely honest. Since I'm going to plug it again. Not getting paid, remember. Using the Epic browser, it's got ad block on it. I couldn't actually scroll down and see your graph, so it kind of locked me out. Like I can't do anything. But anyway, so we just see the headline in the picture.
Let me. I think it's pretty important to look at this thing. So let me see if I can pull up an image for you. There's my mouse click.
Okay, but so my thought is that some of the stuff that comes out of the UK is perplexing. Let's say that's a good term. I mean, I go to BBC News because, you know, I'd like to see some of that stuff, and you know, how the world thinks of different parts of the world thinks about American politics, and you know, all those things. So, you know, you got to look at your different sources, you know, so that You can kind of maybe read between the lines. You can parse the information. You can, you can figure out what's going on. But I don't know. There's some weird stuff coming out of the UK these days. And yeah. Anyway. Oh, there we go. All right. So we got a. Hey, look at that. Hey, look at that. Prankster man. We got a. Here's the graph he was talking about. Here we go. Okay. Has ET gone home? Global UFO sightings recorded from 1990 to 2018. Yeah, exactly. Keep in mind that in 1990, the internet was not yet as prevalent. Most people didn't have PCs in their home, and etc., etc. I know because I was alive then. Okay. But yeah, it's a good graph. It's a good graph. So, and this was from the one source, from the National UFO Reporting Center. So, previously, just like Frank said, there was one place to report these things. But as, let's go back to like 94 and 96. People probably started reporting them to like MySpace and whatever. Anyway, making Frank's point, concurring. But yeah, at 2014, it just took a nosedive. So does that mean no UFOs? I don't know. What do you guys think? I think that's
just less people going to this website, and that's that they could have written that in a single line. That would be the news story. But for some reason, they spun it out of control into these wild, dare I say, conspiracy theories about this. And really, it's just because people stopped going to this website. So if anything, I think you're right, is that UFO remain constant. And that way back in the 90s, on the left-hand side of the graph, well, they didn't have the internet, so they couldn't report them to this website. And now, on the right-hand side of the graph, they're reporting them to YouTube and Twitter and all these other places. So this is like a non-story. It's a complete non-story written to convince you that aliens are going away, or they're not real, or they never were.
Or, exactly. Or something to that effect. So, oh wait, in case I didn't have that up. All right, so you're aware, we're streaming on the Little Green Men page here, as most of you guys are aware. We've got some stuff in the inbox there where people have actually sent us exclusive, like, phone footage of UFOs or other things. And so they're sending them to us. I should probably mute my phone. They're sending them to us. Right, they're sending them to what would you call it? What's that? The big site on YouTube, Secure Team 10, 5?
Yeah, Secure Team 10 or something, or 6 or something like that.
Yeah. Like these are the types of things, right? Because they're reporting these things, they're making it a priority, and yeah, it just makes sense. It just makes sense to me that more places to report them and less censored, less redacted from the government, etc. So anyway, yeah, I think
that's fake news, though, hiding in plain sight. That's a willful misinterpretation of the data to convince you of something that may or may not be true. And they knew it when they were writing it. I guarantee they did, because I'm not a very smart person. It took me 5 seconds to Google the traffic to this website and see that it paralleled that graph perfectly. So they knew it, and this is fake news. And what are you going to do about it?
I'm going to close the graph. That's what I'm going to do. Get out of here, fake news. Okay, so we got more. Hey, so free-for-all, if you guys want to talk about whatever, call us, 702-957-1037. We'll put you on. We'll talk about whatever that you want to talk about. Hop on Discord. We've tested it. It works. Todd tested Discord with us. Kelly's called us a couple times online. That works. So, well, it mostly worked last time. I heard him. But he couldn't hear Frank. But I think we got it fixed. So, yeah, one more time, 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link. Come on, talk about whatever. So we're just kind of going through some news articles that we pulled up, but we're open to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. So that's what this whole show is about tonight. That's what we're doing. That's why we're doing this, and we enjoy it because it's a little it's more open. Again, we want to be open. We talk about transparency, right? We hate how these government institutions, we hate how Facebook, we hate how Google and Twitter and all these a-holes, how they all are just not transparent about what they track. You can't turn on and off any of those things. Well, us, you can just pick up the phone and call us, and you can say, Mike, you are full of crap. And I'll be like, sorry. Right? So we want to be as open and transparent as possible on the stuff we talk about. And hey, if you got criticism, we're big boys. We can take it. So if you got praise, hey, all the better. We're big boys. We can take it. If you got anything that doesn't fall into either category, perfect. That's what we want to hear. That's why we do this. That's why we're talking about this stuff. That's why we have an open phone line every single time. So give us a call, 702-957-1037. Hop on Discord. We'll put you right on the chat. We'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. So, yeah, let's do that. Okay, so we got some other news articles to get to. But waiting for you guys' phone calls. So if you want to give us a call, we're waiting. Waiting for that. And then Todd says, yep, people put it on groups and social media and YouTube, and he lulled me. Oh, lol you. I'll call your lol, and I'll raise you a lol. Lol. All right. What else we got, Frank? We got more?
Let's go through this one real quick. Microsoft, this is on cbc.ca from Reuters. Microsoft co-founders space firm unveils rocket and a spaceplane plans. So, I was saying earlier that there's a new space race going on. And I think it is. But again, it's not between China, Russia, United States. It's between these corporations. So Blue Origin, which is the Amazon rocket company. Now this Stratolaunch Systems Corp, which is the Microsoft space company, as well as SpaceX. Maybe throw NASA in there. Throw the European EU space agency in there too. Throw in the China thing too. So you got all these big names with massive amounts of resources funding this stuff. And so these guys here at Microsoft have kind of come up with a different solution. So basically they're building this gigantic plane. Apparently it's the largest plane that has ever been built. And they're going to, do you see the picture there? They're going to strap a rocket underneath that thing, fly it up as high as it goes, drop that rocket off, light it up, and then go into space. And I guess the appeal of that, to go from the Earth straight up to where this plane would hit its maximum height, takes a certain amount of rocket fuel. And so they can save that rocket fuel by kind of lifting it up high to begin with, right? They can save by developing this plane that can get up there pretty easily and come back down pretty easily, whereas the rocket might not be able to do that so much. So yeah, this is pretty interesting, these new technologies developing. Of course, Elon Musk has the reusable rockets, so they can come up, come back down. They save money on the cost of building the thing. But this is a different perspective, where they're taking this massive, massive plane, flying it up as high as it goes, launching the rocket from that, and they also save money. So the cost of this kind of stuff just got cheaper, and there's definitely some kind of technological space race going on. So I find this stuff pretty interesting.
It's amazing. We talked about this on the last show. Remember, if you guys were watching the news portion, we had a cosmonaut just chuck a little satellite right out of the International Space Station. Remember that? And so, like, it doesn't have to be super expensive to be deploying these things, to be getting things into low orbit and then blasting them off from there. Because, most of the rocket fuel, most of the energy necessary is from the bottom, from touchdown on the landing pad or the launch pad. That's where you need all the force. That's where you need all the fuel. So if we can use wind power, glide up there with minimal type of airplane technology, and then launch from there, I mean, it makes sense, right? It makes sense to me. Like, for crying the F out loud, are you serious? Like, this is 2018, right? And we're just now thinking of this?
Yeah, I think it's more a question of funding, because, I'm an avid reader of science fiction, and this kind of thing has been talked about for a very long time. And this is definitely not a new idea, but it seems that finally they're going ahead with it. And again, it's these massive corporations, so Elon Musk and Microsoft and Amazon, that are really heading the charge on these new technologies, simply because they have infinite money to play with, right? So in that sense, they're doing a good thing, right? But pretty interesting, and I'm excited to see how this goes. Like, there's all sorts of different,